Yeah, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, man. You know who Rodney Dangerfield is? So I was doing this whole shtick on Rodney Dangerfield, man. Rodney Dangerfield was like, because I get no respect from my doctor. I called my doctor. I said, Doc, I just took a whole bottle of sleeping pills. He told me I should have a drink and get some rest. Oh my God, I don't get no respect. I called my shrink up, and my shrink, I told him, Doc, I'm feeling suicidal. He told me I got to pay for all my sessions in advance now. I get no respect. I went to see him. I was sitting down. I said, Doc, I kind of feel like a dog. He told me to get off his couch. No respect. Speaking of dogs, I got a dog, man. What a dog. I call him Egypt. He leaves me a pyramid in every room. My dog is always barking at the front door, not because he wants to go out, but he wants me to leave. Even my wife, I was out with some friends. I had some drinks. I came home. I figured, hey, I'm going to play it cool. I'll let her make the first move. She moved to Florida. Oh, I get no respect. No respect. What's that little, he does the collar thing. No respect. I can't do his like crazy big bulging eyeballs that he does. That's pretty good. So there's all my best Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, Tiffany, what's going on, girl? What is going on? How you doing today? Tiffany is in the wine club that I'm a member of. She's a rock star jamming over there with the wine club. Man, I need to pour me a glass of wine for lunch. I got a nice Pinot Grigio chilling in the fridge. I had a glass last night. It's open already, so I might have to try some of that. So the headline today was how life insurance is like Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, I got Randall over here saying he's going to open a bottle and pour me a glass. Yes! Woohoo! I got some red wine on the way. It's going to be a better lunch already. So we're talking about how life insurance is like Rodney Dangerfield. And, it's because we all have car insurance. We all have, if we own a home, we have homeowners insurance. We don't even think twice about that. A good chunk of us have, health insurance, that sort of thing. But life insurance don't get no respect. Life insurance don't get no respect, man. The couple more, one of my favorites, I get no respect. I worked at a pet store. People kept asking me how big I'd get. Oh my gosh, I don't get no respect. My wife and I, we were happy for 20 years. Then we met. I love Rodney Dangerfield, man. I love comedians in general. So life insurance is like Rodney Dangerfield, and it doesn't get any respect. Scott here said, because hopefully you don't need it, and then you feel like that was wasted money. I wish we could take the same approach with cars, right? I spend a boatload of money on car insurance. I hope I don't need it. Don't want to have it. They make me. They mandate it. And I tell you what, Scott, I could entirely agree with you if the average American was saving and investing and building retirement. And even then, there's a point for having life insurance early on, because what's easier, right? I could take $1,000 out of my next check and put it in the bank. Can my wife retire on $1,000? No, she's not even going to be able to pay the first couple of bills off of $1,000. So early in life, even if I am diligently saving every month, putting money back, let's say I save $500 a month, and I've been doing that for 3 years. Well, I got 18 grand in the bank. Now, as far as like emergency fund goes, that's decent, right? But the Orsak household family bills is about 6 grand a month. So that's 3 months worth of emergency fund. Now, if I took the same and I put $500 into a life insurance policy and I paid that $500 a month, let's get a better analogy here. Let's say I took $100 a month and I put into a life insurance policy and the other $400 went to savings, right? Well, now I've got, $100 a month for me. I'm 48, so that'd be less. that even at 48, I'd still have a couple hundred grand probably, at least, if not more than that. Now that I think about it, it'd be significantly more than that. I'd probably have $300,000 to $400,000. But anyway, my point being is that I would be saving money, I'm building my nest egg, retirement, etc., as I should be, but I'm also protecting the wife and the kids early on, especially early on. That's what your really term life is for, is protecting early on. So we hope we don't need it. Faux show, that's definitely the case. But there's a point for it. There's an absolute point for having life insurance. And so I'm going to address some of these today. We got some wine coming in. Oh, look at this, man. I got a wine, a decanter.
You know what
everything.
So you know what these decanters are for? When somebody says, but I can't afford life insurance. I go, well, no problem.
We have a decanter.
All of a sudden you pour it.
You can decant that.
You just pour those thoughts in a decanter and all of a sudden you
boom, now you can afford it.
Hey man, I look good in that.
Yeah, you got some good lighting in here.
How about the Astros?
Oh, how about them Astros? How about them Astros? Absolutely.
Get back to,
yeah, we're gonna get back to it. Now I got me a good glass. Which one is this one?
The bird song.
Bellarone. That's the Australian, isn't it? Oh, Shiraz. All right. We got an Australian Shiraz here that I'm enjoying for lunch that Randall just brought me. Australian, they make some really good wine. Let me tell you, the Shiraz, they're really kind of known for their Shiraz. It's good stuff, man. Oh, that's pretty tasty. Not too shabby. Oh, it's got a nice little like raspberry flavor to it. Anyway, don't want to get too distracted with the wine. It's easy to do. Sandra says, I need some wine. Hey, I got your hookup, Sandra. You know I got your hookup. I'll take care of you on that. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about life insurance, and I'm going to get into a couple things here, some common stuff, 7 myths about life insurance. And I will tell you, Scott, the video that you chimed in or tuned in on yesterday, the difference between term and perm life insurance, was a pre-recorded video. I was still there. I was chatting. I was responding to people, but I couldn't address it live. So I want to touch on some of the stuff. If you stick around today, you had some good points yesterday. I think they may come up in today's video. So I'll cover some of this stuff. Sandra says you need to share with her, Randall. All right. First thing, first myth, right here. Your employer-provided life insurance is all you need. All right. I run into this all the time. Oh, I'm covered. I've got life insurance through work. That is a myth. You're not covered. And here's why. Do you have life insurance? Of course. If you have it through work, absolutely. Good thing no one ever gets fired or laid off from their job, right? So if you have life insurance through your job, that's great. Wonderful. Not knocking it. Anytime you have coverage through work, you should have the attitude or the opinion that it's like icing on the cake. It's the extra. It's actually like cherries on the cake. It's not even like icing, because who really wants icing or a cake without icing? That's just a muffin, right? So you need to get coverage outside of work. And here I'll give you an example why. Let's say you've been working there. You're like, Joe, I've been here for 30 years. I'm not going anywhere. I run this place. They couldn't do it without me. That sort of thing. Whatever. I'm a fixture. They're never going to get rid of me, and I'm going to retire from here. The problem there is, let's say that while you're there, you're diagnosed with the, oogly googly disease, and your doctor say, hey, this is not a immediately life-threatening thing. You may live another 10 years with it, but it's going to get you eventually, right? Oogly googly disease. And now you do decide to leave that job. You do decide to retire. You do whatever. And as soon as you leave that job, you lose your insurance. And now, because of oogly googly disease, you can't get life insurance. You're uninsurable. So trust me, you always want to own your own insurance, your own life insurance. If they give it to you at work, take it. That's great. Beautiful. It's extra. It's gravy. And as Scott pointed out here, He said it's not enough and it's not portable. You're totally right on that. Usually, Scott, they'll get you at most, they'll pay for a couple years of your annual salary, that type of thing, or they'll double it. That's not uncommon, but that's definitely not enough. And we'll kind of get to that in a second as well about how much life insurance you should have. So kind of sticking with the work-related life insurance, only the breadwinner needs life insurance. Another myth. Why is that a myth, right? Well, a lot of times thinking, like my wife for a long time was a full-time stay-at-home mom. And she works now, and she's working hard right now, and bringing in as much money as she can and all that sort of thing. She wants a pool. And anyway, but let's say, she was a full-time stay-at-home mom. Does the full-time stay-at-home mom need life insurance? Well, good Lord. Any guy that answers that question no because she doesn't make any money is cray-cray, because her input into the household, the jobs that she's doing in the household, would be all things the guy would have to pay to get done if she wasn't taking care of them. If she's not around, who's going to watch the kids? You got to take the kids somewhere. That means you got to spend money. All that stuff, washing the clothes. Now I got to take them to the laundromat or whatever. I got to take them to get them done. All that stuff costs money. I forget what the average domestic servant, or I don't know if servant's a bad word. Whatever the average cost of a wife replacement would be in the house. But it was a lot. It was like 40 to 60,000 a year or something. It was crazy. So my point is, even if the wife isn't earning an income, she absolutely still needs to have life insurance. Now, does it need to be as much as? Well, there's a general rule of thumb on how to figure out the amount of life insurance you should have. On the lowest side, 5 to 6 times your annual income. On the high side, and really a safer calculation, 10 to 12 times. Generally speaking, I tell folks 10 times your annual income. So if the wife's not working, then you have to look up the annual cost of all the jobs that she's doing. But again, I think a fair amount there is about $40,000 a year. And so the wife may only need to have $400,000 in coverage, while the husband may need $800,000 if he's making $80,000 a year, for example. So the idea that only the breadwinner needs to have life insurance, that's nuts, right? Everybody, both the parents need to have life insurance. Here's another one. I'm going to take a sip of wine on this one. Speaking of health, that's not too bad. Not too bad. My health disqualifies me from life insurance. It does happen, right? If you have an uninsurable, situation, if you've had multiple heart attacks, if you had cancer and within the last 3 years, there's definitely some health concerns that can keep you from getting life insurance. But far from, even like I said, cancer, I'd have opportunities for people to get coverage with life insurance if they've been cancer-free for at least 3 years. So there's options. On the heart attack thing, they look at what age you had it and how long it's been and what treatment you're getting and all that sort of thing. So there's a lot of options for people that even have some extreme, health concerns. But generally speaking, you can get most anybody coverage. Now, will it be the cheapest coverage, that sort of thing? No, you're going to have to pay more, but you can get coverage. So don't let health concerns rule it out. Scott chimed in here with another one. He says, and from the wife perspective is she gets divorced, now she will need income replacement, and it will be more expensive. So you have that whole thing to deal with. So both members of the family absolutely need to have coverage, no doubt. Let's see, what was my next point here? There we go. Number 5, after health. I had bullet points to keep myself on track. Number 5 was everyone should buy term and invest the difference. Now, Scott, this is one that you asked about yesterday on the feed when we were doing this deal. And that's, Primerica. There's a couple of organizations that really, really, really push the, buy term, invest the rest, right? But there are multiple ways and instances where permanent life insurance just work better. I do college planning. I help parents save for college and position them for college scholarships. In that situation specifically, IULs and whole life just work better than any other vehicle. The cash value of the policy remains liquid. The money is off the radar from the colleges. So you can literally be saving for money in a cash value life insurance policy, show up to school when you're filling out all of the paperwork, and when they say, how much money do you have saved for college? Zero. None. We're broke. I've got it. Nothing. And they can't see it. It doesn't show up in any of their paperwork, and you're not being untruthful. That money is for your retirement. It's not for college. You should be saving for retirement. College is a scam, if you ask me. That's a whole other subject. They rate people on how much they're charging. It's a false economy. It goes up 5 to 7% every year, largely because the government funds it through school loans that you will never get out of because they want you to be an indentured servant to the government. That's the truth. That's reality. I don't like false economies, and I don't like the government being in that racket. I guarantee if parents had to figure out how to pay for, or students had to figure out how to pay for college on their own, and the government wasn't just signing the checks, how much money did he need? How much money do you need? The price of college would not be anywhere near what it is right now. So I'm all for, using methodology that allows me to get scholarships and grants. And that's one example. There's many where cash value life insurance just works better than other options. Also, forgetting that whole part, to me, a great strategy is to have a blend. Your primary amount of face value on your life insurance should come from term. It's cheap. It's cheap, right? But it is going to run out at some point, right? If I get a mix of term and permanent, right? Let's say, for example, I want $1 million in coverage. Well, I may have $900,000 in term insurance, which is relatively cheap, and only $100,000 in permanent insurance. And that permanent insurance is never going to run out. It doesn't matter what disease I get or anything else. My family will realize that death benefit. And it's a good possibility that the death benefit, whereas I started out at $100,000, may end up being $130,000, $150,000, depending on how much I'm putting into it. So it becomes a retirement vehicle as well. But it's one way that we're guaranteeing that my life insurance is going to pay my family at some point. So you use term to get the majority of your face value because that protects you on the front end. If I die earlier than we expect, like I'm 48, is it possible that I have a heart attack, keel over, and die today? It's possible, right? My wife's grandfather died at 47 from a heart attack, and nobody was expecting that, right? So it does happen. It's not what we expect. I expect to live to be in my 70s at least. Current stats say I should live to be in my 80s, right? Based just on general population, all that sort of thing. I hope to live to be 100, right? But I have a lot of life insurance, right now that's going to expire at some point down the road, and it's to protect my wife in case something happens earlier than her and I expect. We're not God. We can't see that down the road, so you do what you can to protect the family, and term life works great for that. I also have permanent life insurance that is going to supplement our retirement. It's one of the ways that I'm saving for our future. That's how a good blend works really well between the two. And Scott, you asked about fees on life insurance, or on permanent life insurance. If you get somebody who understands or knows how to properly set up permanent life insurance, you can minimize that dramatically. And in doing so, I would challenge anybody to compare what their financial advisors, fees are coming off the top the percentages that they get. And more so, because I've seen it. I've seen it so many times. In doing the college planning stuff, we would get all of the financials of our clients because we're looking at where they have money because the school's going to be looking at where they have money. And I would see it over and over and over. You're with XYZ big box financial advisor firm, and you have, $250,000 in mutual funds. Guess what those mutual funds were? Big box mutual funds. What a coincidence that the funds that they were putting you in that happen to be the best for you, they're just looking out for you. They all happen to be big box stores. So you can't tell me the fees for life insurance are going to be worse than the fees at these brokerage financial advisor firms. I've just seen it too many times. So when you know how to set the life insurance up properly, you can really kill it on that front. You can do very well with it. And for college savings mechanisms, using it to save for college, man, I tell you what, IULs whole life do extremely well. When you know how to set them up properly, you have to make sure that they're set up for minimum death benefit, maximum cash value, all that sort of thing. You don't use permanent life insurance for life insurance coverage for the death benefit. It's just too expensive. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of life salesmen, life insurance people blow it. They get that part wrong. Well, I shouldn't say wrong because they're just looking out for their own self-interest. Anyway, you get my idea there. So the last thing, this one kills me. This one kills me. You're too young to worry about life insurance. Hoy vey, folks, I cannot tell you on this one. We're not God. We're not prompt. We don't know when the end is. We don't know if today is our last breath we're going to have in our lungs. We don't know. And I've seen it. I've seen it on both sides. I've seen when somebody dies younger than we expect and they have coverage and how the family deals with that situation. And I've seen it on the other side when the family has somebody who dies younger than expected and they didn't have coverage. There was a guy out here in my area. I don't want to be too specific because I don't want to, make the family mad at me or whatever. But the young guy was killed in a motorcycle accident, and he left behind a wife and 3 kids, and he had no life insurance. And the family was freaking out. What do you do with that? They had to put up a GoFundMe page to help him, with the funeral, just to help get the funeral coverage cost. What's that guy going to do, right? With 3 kids and a husband gone. Saying you are too young to worry about life insurance is absolute madness to me. And kind of on that front, I thought I had it on here. Did I leave it off? I did. Did I say too expensive? I left it off. I thought I had another one. Anyway, in this kind of same category, folks that say, well, I'm really young, so I don't have to worry about it. Or also, I'm really young and I can't afford it. That kills me because term life, in fact, you know what? The number one thing that people say is that life insurance is too expensive. That's the number one objection for people not getting life insurance. But then on the heels of that, if asked how much they think life insurance would cost for them, they estimate 2 to 3 times more than the actual cost of life insurance, right? So that's where it gets really crazy. James said, amen, brother. I didn't realize that you were an insurance agent too. Yes. So James, I'm going to take a sip of wine on that one. About 2 years and a few months, something like that. I don't know. It's been over 2 years. My business partners and I sat down, and after 10 years of running a credit improvement company, it was running well. Things were going well with it. We said, how can we diversify? And the staff now runs the Improve My Credit USA. They've got that going on. They keep it doing its thing. It's humming along and rocking. We service over 300 clients a month right now on that side. So that's doing well. and my business partners, Randall and Troy, went the digital marketing, social media marketing route, and they formed a company called Spoken About. And they've been doing very well with Spoken About. And if you need help generating leads or traffic for your business, and I'm talking qualified leads, you definitely need to get connected with Randall or Troy on that front. And I decided to get my life insurance license and launch a life insurance business. And that's my main focus now. I do wine on the side. I have a wine distribution business. I got into that mainly because I love wine and I wanted free wine. So I get 4 bottles of wine a month free. My wife gets 4 bottles a month of wine free, so we get 8 bottles. I give it away, and I share that with folks and do all kind of stuff. Love the wine. And, on the side in the last 5 to 6 months, I've made like $6,000. So it's been decent, side money. But life insurance is my main focus. Piggybacking on that, Scott said, don't add on to a personal tragedy with financial tragedy. Holy cow, Scott, yes. I tell you what, man, I have to restrain myself if I run into a friend who's married with kids and they don't have life insurance. Unless they're inherently wealthy or just have a ton of money set aside, I get really upset about it, because in my head, I've seen those people. I've seen the stress on the family. They're basket case already because, they're dealing with the loss of a loved one. And, especially when it's a younger person and you weren't expecting, if I got killed in a car accident today, knock on the wood, whatever, hopefully God doesn't have that in my cards, it would be unexpected, right? Nobody thinks you're going to walk out the door today. Nobody thinks you're going to go to a country music concert and get shot by some wacko, right? But it happens. Life happens, right? And so, using that excuse that I'm too young, I can't afford it, whatever else. I'm sorry. If you have a cell phone, if you have cable TV, if you have internet, if you go to Starbucks, I can pick any number of things that people spend money on that are less important than life insurance, right? Less important. All right. James, you said call me a little later. Got to jump off here. I will give you a shout, buddy, and we'll talk for sure. So, I get really upset about the folks who don't take care of their family, who don't take care of their business. And when you start a doggone GoFundMe page to get me to pay for your funeral, that too pisses me off. Because now you have said, I did not take care of my business. I did not handle my responsibility to my family. I need you to do that. And I'll get people bent out of shape on this one. And I did a whole live feed on this once. They're like, well, they can't, whatever. I won't go into that. I don't like excuses, right? If I die right now, my wife is going to be extremely well taken care of. In fact, I have only half jokingly attributed my great marriage to the amount of life insurance that I carry. I met a guy once that had been in the life insurance business for a very long time, and he said he had only met 2 people in his life who were overinsured, and one of those was me. And I kind of took offense to that because I said, what do you mean I'm overinsured? I think I need to have more. So, I'm like, hey, I want my wife to not have to remarry because she needs to, right? Because first of all, I think she's going to have a very hard time replacing, the quality of husband she had prior. So, at the very least, I want to give her, a lifetime of income so that if she decided she could never replace a Joe with, another guy, that she had enough to live on. So I've got over $2 million in coverage if something happens to my wife. $2 million will get her, to the end of her life in comfort, right? And they take care of the kids. David, a buddy of mine, another guy in the life insurance world, financial investment world, said, damn right, GoFundMe is not a substitute for life insurance. Man, you got that right. Use it to raise money for a new business, something, I don't know. I know that there's good, reasons for it. But taking care of your financial responsibility sure as hell ain't one of them. So, sorry, I'll be brutal on that one. So anyway, 7 points, 7 myths of life insurance. And I should have had an 8th, or I don't know, maybe combine them, but I'll fly through them real quick. Number 1, oh wait, I just messed up. There we go. Back up top here. First myth, employer provided life insurance is all you need. No, it's not. They never provide enough, and it's not transportable. You'll lose it once you leave that job. Number 2, only the breadwinner needs life insurance. Not true. Both parents, especially parents, but both husband and wife need to have life insurance. Number 3, oh, I did cover life insurance. I just didn't put it on the screen for whatever reason. Life insurance is really expensive. Not true. In fact, I will tell you guys one example, because I didn't cover it earlier. I was sitting down with a young lady at a Starbucks, and she was drinking her $4 or $5 cup of Starbucks. And I asked her if she had life insurance, and I knew she had a kid. She was in her 30s, early 30s, and she had a 10-year-old at the time. We're still friends and spent several years. And I asked her if she had life insurance. She said, no, it's too expensive. I said, have you ever gotten a quote? She said, no. I ran a quote for her just to prove a point. Minimum amount of life insurance I could get her covered for, to be fair. Standard rating health, all that sort of thing, nothing crazy. I didn't rate her like, Lance Armstrong or something. Well, he had cancer, so he wouldn't be a good example. Whoever. Phelps. Whoever's in good shape. Just gave her a standard quote for $25,000 for 10 years. You know how much it was? $7 a month. $7 a month, people. And $50,000 was only like $10.20 or something like that, right? For $50,000. So don't tell me it's too expensive, because I promise you, you could find $10 a month, right? We can get you something. It may not be ideal. It may not be the best, but I promise you it would be something, and giving your family something to deal with, your unexpected loss, if something happened to you, is better than nothing. All right? Hear me on that. Average funeral right now costs about 15 grand. Ask me how much I think that's a brilliant idea. That to me is nuts. I've got it in my will. I told my wife, ash me, stick me in a cardboard box, whatever. I don't care. I don't need a grave. I don't need a tombstone, whatever. We're all eventually going to be out of here. Nobody needs to remember me here. I have specific beliefs. I'm going to be on the other side. My family's going to see me on the other side. I ain't worried about blowing a penny on a funeral. Throw a party. Spend a couple $100 buying some wine, right? Have a good time. Laugh about the goofy stuff we did. I don't need a $20,000 funeral. All that stuff. It's crazy. So anyway, average funeral right now runs about 15 grand. So you at least need to have that covered so your family's not stressing about where the heck's that 15 grand going to come from. And why should they have to take 15 grand out of their, savings, their emergency fund to cover an unexpected funeral? That's madness. Guys, I'm just saying, you can afford life insurance. Okay, I'll move on for that one real fast. My health disqualifies me from life insurance. Don't get hung up on this. Yes, do it now before the odds stack up against you. Oh my gosh. Nate, do it now and before the odds stack up against you. A cancer survivor will often be uninsurable. An unexpected diagnosis could happen tomorrow. Yes. Oh my gosh, Nate, you're right on time, because I just tagged this one. Number four myth is my health disqualifies me from life insurance. As I mentioned, I went through these earlier in great detail, so I'm not going to do great detail now. I'm just kind of recapping. There are definitely some illnesses that make you uninsurable. Cancer being one of those. If you're still dealing with cancer, no way you're going to get life insurance. You have to be cancer-free for at least 3 years, and then it's going to be expensive, all right? If you've had a heart attack, same kind of deal. It's going to, I'll have to ask, when did you have a heart attack? At what age? And that's going to tell me, like, how expensive it's going to be. And how long ago was it? And, all this stuff. So it's going to make it more expensive. So definitely there are health issues that make you uninsurable, right? But don't let that rule you out. Like if you've had health issues, diabetes, I mean, there's a number of things that people think that they're uninsurable about, but I can get you life insurance, right? And I'll tell you, I shop with over 50 different life insurance companies. They're all A-rated or better companies. And I will take a person who has an illness like diabetes, and I know specific companies that are just more lenient on the life insurance cost when you have that specific illness. So that's an advantage in working with somebody who's a broker rather than a big box, store. I'm not going to mention any of the farms who sell life insurance because there's a few of those, right? The states and the farms and all that stuff. But I'll beat those guys on price every day of the week, and usually substantially, simply because they sell only their product. And it's a great product, not knocking their product. I just shop great products with over 50 different companies. So, the health is not going to be an issue. Moving on from there, everyone should buy term and invest the difference. Not true. There are instances where permanent insurance makes sense, and I can outline that for you and explain why that is. The number 6, you get a better deal purchasing life insurance on the internet, online. I didn't address this one, right? People think everything's cheaper online. That's kind of like saying I can sell my own house. I don't need a realtor. You can do it online. You have a lot of tools, all that sort of thing. But statistics have shown using a real estate professional results in you selling the house faster and for more. It's a statistical fact. Same thing with life insurance. I just mentioned a reason why. I know of companies who give a better price when you have a specific illness, right? Because I'm a life insurance professional. I'm trained to know these things. I do the work on my side to make sure that I get the best price for my customer. Just because you hop out on the internet and do some Google work, you're not an expert in the area. You can't possibly know as much as I know. This is my career. It's what I'm doing for a living. I don't mean that to be an offense, but that's the fact. Just because you Google it doesn't mean it's going to be cheaper. And then finally, the last thing, recapping, you're too young to worry about life insurance. That's just one of the saddest ones because let me tell you, life happens and life throws unexpected events your way, car accidents, some nut job killing people at a concert, etc. But I'm telling you, life throws you curveballs and you want to make sure your family is protected. That's it, guys. My story for the day here, how life insurance is like Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect. Life insurance gets no respect. How about a couple more Rodney Dangerfield jokes? I get no respect. Even my mom, when I was a little kid, she didn't breastfeed me. She said she wanted to just be friends. Oh, I love those, right? Let's see, I got another good one. My mother, yeah. My mother had morning sickness after I was born. Oh, I met a surgeon general. He offered me a cigarette. When I played in the sandbox, the cat kept covering me up. Those are crazy. Some good ones. All right, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was some useful information to you guys. And thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the comments. Good stuff. Good chat with you guys. I'll talk to y'all later.